Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Bible Thumping Wingnut podcast. My name is Tim, the Bible Thumping Wingnut, and it is May 17th, Sunday evening. Matt Slick is with me, as well as Len Pettis, and we are happy that you joined. If you are watching this live this evening, we encourage you tremendously to join us and engage with Matt Slick. If you've got any question, if you've got any charge against Christianity, against the Bible, if you have anything at all, comments, questions, things that you want to know what the Christian position is on, this is an opportunity for you. Matt Slick has graciously joined us many weeks in a row, and it's always a blessing. And but we want this to minister to you. We want this to be not only something for believers. If you've got a question, against the Bible, if you can turn that down, John. Anything at all? Comments, questions, things. Okay, where's that feedback coming from? Is that just me? Okay, all right. Was that feedback just me, Len?
No, I heard it too.
Okay. So, as I was saying, we want this to be a ministry for believers. If you've got a question, you're confused about something within Christianity and the Bible, or if you're a non-believer, we want this to be an opportunity for you to come and voice your concerns, questions, things that you've got issues with Christianity or with the Bible. This is for you, and we want you to come and join us and engage. So the link to join is in the description of the YouTube video right now. So anybody in the comment section, please don't go and try to taunt us from there, because usually we don't read them until after. And when we read them after, we just think, hey, why didn't you join us? Okay, so the link is there to join. It's first come, first serve. And we add you to the broadcast, and one-on-one you're able to engage with Matt Slick. So that's what we're here for, and hope that it will be, like I said, a ministry to those who are Christians and a resource to those who are non-Christians to find out what the Christian position is. So that being said, I want to encourage everybody to check out BibleThumpingWingnut.com and carm.org. And there you will see the podcasts, other podcasts that we do, that Len and I do, and you'll see Matt Slick live podcast and the vast wealth of information that Matt has on his website that he's designed and put up for over 19 years now. So great resources there for you.
Lots of exclusive content.
Yes, and if you're wondering, what is the exclusive content for the Bible Thumping Wingnut? New exclusive content. That is just a play on words. Everything you do, obviously, is new exclusive content. It's ours and it's new. So there you go. Matt Slick, how are you?
Doing fine. How are you?
I'm excited. I'm glad you're here. And I wanted, I got to say this first, okay? So you went down to Heart of the Matter, and you went to see Sean McCraney.
Yep, Sean McCraney.
And first, right off the bat, I mean, how is it that when you are down there, you look 15 years younger? On how did that happen?
Just lighting. It's
lighting.
It's just lighting. You get the light.
How many hours did you spend in makeup, Matt?
None. I should have spent a lot more than I ever have, which is nothing, but none.
I gotta say, you know, I like you, I love you already, but I thought you looked great. Your presentation, you know, even they said, obviously, Matt, you do a lot of television, and you're like, hey, I don't know, hopefully someday. But I agreed with your position, but I just was really happy to see the way you handled yourself. And just wanted to kind of start with you maybe sharing a little bit about your experience, your trip down there, when you recorded, what you recorded, and when it's all coming out.
Well, I went down there last week. My wife and two other friends. On Tuesday night, we did the T of Tulip, and the next day we did ULIP, and it'll come out each week. Done.
So it'll come out one a week. One a week.
Yeah, I'm just playing with you. Yeah, well, and the next day, what we did was we just did U for an hour. Then we took a break, L, and then I, and then P. And he's going to air them each Tuesday night, and then each Tuesday night, I Skype in order to answer questions from callers. And then what I'm hoping is that he and I can have a discussion on the doctrine of the Trinity, because there's some issues there. Because I consider that to be more important than the 5 points of Calvinism.
Mm.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Len, you for those people who don't know who Sean is, maybe you could give kind of a little overview, because you've been listening to his talks, his preaching. For quite a while.
Yeah. Well, before we went on air, I was sharing with Matt how when I got saved almost 7 years ago now, I lived in my house for the last 15 years, same place, and no one's ever come to my door until I got saved, and then Jehovah's Witnesses and Mormons started coming and knocking on my door, and I'm a friendly guy, so I let them in the house, and a couple of times I felt really stupid because they just really know their stuff in terms of their script, and I was not prepared. And so I got on the internet, and I got in my Bible, and I started looking for resources, and Heart of the Matter was one of the first things that came up in my searching to help me to understand Mormonism. And I bet I've watched 250 of Sean's videos, either like full shows or clips. There's a lot of 4-minute, 5-minute, 25-minute clips out there, as well as his whole shows. So, and I learned a lot from him. I was really encouraged, and then over the last year and a half, things started to change with Sean, and I think we've all those of us who've been following him, see some of the issues, I think. So I'm really grateful that Matt is doing what he's doing and explaining these doctrines with him. But Sean is a former LDS. I think he was LDS for close to 40 years, wasn't he, Matt? Or like
Something
30
like that,
years?
a long time, yes.
Yeah, I mean, he was high up in the Mormon church and everything, and he saw the flaws, saw the problems when he started to compare the doctrines that Mormonism teaches compared to what the Bible teaches, and so he started the Heart of the Matter ministry, as well as his own church, for the purpose of reaching out to Mormons. And he's written, I can't remember the name of his book. Maybe, I don't know, Matt, maybe you can help me out, but it was pretty controversial, because basically he was saying, like, for Mormons to get saved, they maybe want to stay in their Mormon fellowship to almost act as a missionary. You can stay in the Mormon church and still be a Christian. And I never read the book, but I know it was pretty controversial among mainstream evangelicalism and stuff. So, but yeah, he's a very interesting cat. He's a guy. The reason I was drawn to him is because he's a lot like me. He wears his heart on his sleeves, and he says exactly what's on his mind. So
right.
He's a guy I could relate to a lot, and I really appreciated his ministry. But the last year and a half, there's been some concerns, but people like Matt and several others are reaching out and having these dialogues with him that I think are very helpful, because there's, let's face it, there's a lot of people who don't understand some of the finer points of doctrine that can be a dividing line between what is inside of orthodoxy and what is outside of orthodoxy. So I think it's great what's going on with Matt, and I've been watching all the videos, and I'm really encouraged by what I'm seeing. So well done, brother.
Yeah, one of the things that hasn't come out yet in our videos is when we did the last one, P, Perseverance of the Saints, he disappeared during my presentation, and he had things to do, whatever, and so I just kept going. There's the camera, and I went to John 6, and I made a case for eternal security out of John 6, and then I went to Hebrews 6, I believe pretty sure I remember this correctly, Hebrews 6, 4 through 6, and also I remember definitely Hebrews 10:26, dealing with the issue of those two verses, if you can lose your salvation. And so when he came back into the room for his segment, he didn't address John 6, and then he actually made the comment that Calvinists are afraid of verses like Hebrews 10:26. They don't want to go there, and I had done that. So, that was a bit of an issue. I wish he'd have stayed and watched, at least all of us, so he could have responded in kind. It would have been good.
Yeah.
But when he airs that, you'll be there, and he'll probably address it then.
Yeah, and we'll see how it goes. He's a nice guy. I like him, and I'd love to have more theological discussions with him.
I'm curious, Matt, on the very first video, when you started your presentation, you were kind of like, hey, there's a lot of this to go into, and I'd be happy to stay after and answer any questions and talk to anybody who wants to learn more. Did you get that opportunity? Did anyone from his congregation or audience, did you engage any of them in any good dialogues?
Yeah, actually, there were 85 people there Tuesday night, and this is a lot of people, and I was surprised how many Reformed individuals showed up. People who listen to the radio show, because my radio show is also broadcast down there as well. So, it was really nice to hear that. But a few people had a few questions, and it was basic stuff, and so I just I answered the questions, and it went off about a half hour, and then we kind of dissipated, and everybody went their own way. So it turned out nice, seriously.
That's great.
Yeah, not a big deal. I hope, like I said again, I do hope to be able to do some more. And we'll just see.
All right. Well, we have a couple people that joined a first one. Well, let me see if is it Aaron. Aaron, are you all? Have you ever been in a Hangout before? Are you able to trying to turn your microphone on? Add him. Len, I'm not seeing that we're keeping people not on the broadcast. So when they enter, but Aaron, I think you have to turn your microphone on, or
in the top center of your screen, there's 5 buttons. And the one on the far left is your microphone. Just click on that.
Second from the left.
That's a camera.
My far left says invite people. Well, let's try Chad. Chad, you have a microphone. How are you today, Chad? What brings you here tonight? Okay, we got time now if you got any question.
Are you a Christian? What are you? Okay, do I have to keep asking the same question over and over again? You know why I'm asking. I want to find out where you're at. It's obvious you're a human being. So are you an atheist, an agnostic, a pantheist, a panentheist, a deist, a theist? It's just nice to know. Okay. It's not that hard. Well, sarcasm is dangerous if people don't know you and you get in and one of the first responses you give is sarcasm. Then often what happens is people will not respond well to that. So if you're just saying, hey, what are you? It's not trying to trap you, just trying to figure out where you're from. Why are you an atheist? So you believe there is no God? You haven't seen a God, so therefore no God exists? Any
Have you ever
causation for God? How do you know there's no interaction, there's nothing? What did you seek? You don't know what you sought, and you received nothing from what you don't know you're seeking? Like what? You don't know. Well, I'm asking you what you know about yourself and your own experiences. If I ask you a question that deals with what your experiences are and what people told you about stuff, and you say you don't know, I don't know what. And you don't know what you were seeking. Well, if you don't know what you're seeking, how can you seek anything? I mean, if I'm in my house, I'm looking around. My wife says, "What are you after?" I don't know what I'm after, but I'm looking for it. Okay. Would that be rational for me to say to my wife, "I don't know what I'm looking for, but I'm looking for it"? Okay, I've got Asperger's and I have autism, so I understand what you're saying, but still rationality is not excused by ADD or autism. If you don't know what you're seeking and you're seeking at the same time, that's a logical difficulty, it's a logical problem. And if you don't get any results, so to speak, results, because you're not getting results from seeking nothing, then what do you expect? And then you base atheism on that? So you based atheism that God doesn't exist because you don't know what you were seeking, but you're seeking something, but you don't know what it is. So you didn't get anything out of what you don't know what you're seeking, and therefore God doesn't exist.
Okay. Okay.
Read the Bible. You have the whole Bible? You said you read the Bible, so I want. So you've read the New Testament. The Gideon is fine. It's just a King James version. It's not that big a deal. So you've read the New Testament, right? Right? You've read the New Testament. Is that a yes or is that a no? Okay. So you've read the New Testament, all right? So now what do we do? How would you know if it was right or wrong? It's not right or wrong in a moral sense. It's just pain or not pain. And if it's the issue of morality, you say to be, well, I'm sorry, what? It depends on the circumstances. So do you have any specific questions? Okay, and do that, and then okay, okay, that's good. Get some specific questions, and maybe we can answer them later on. Maybe we can't. We'll see what happens. Okay. Okay.
All right, we'll leave Chad in here in case he wants to rejoin. Next up is the Meows Cat, who well, let me add that person, and they can let us know who they are. The Meows Cat. That what should we call you? Do you want us to call you the Meows Cat, or do you want to give us a first name, perhaps? Vincent. Let me
I
turn
can
you up a
barely
little
hear
bit.
him.
I'm turning him up.
Okay.
Welcome. You're on with Matt Slick.
Yeah. Well, it depends. How many elements of a worldview do they want to define? Because we could have a worldview that says no God and another one that says God. There are ramifications of certain things. Now, I don't believe that an atheistic worldview is consistent at all internally. If you're going to say that God doesn't exist, or you work from a perspective where God does not exist, then you should know presuppositionally that's going to run into all kinds of problems very, very quickly. They wouldn't be able to make any objective moral statements. They wouldn't be able to justify rationality, and they certainly can't justify their own existence. So it just falls apart. Now, if they want to say, I'm only going to have 5 elements in my worldview and they're internally consistent, well, then from their own limited perspective, I suppose they could accomplish something like that. But as soon as as more things are used to confront that worldview, I think that worldview would fall apart. I mean, I don't see how atheism can stand at all. Period. Once you start examining it, so I don't think it's possible to have an internally consistent worldview that doesn't include God. That's fair. Right. Right. Yeah, good. I don't think we can give them any credence. I don't think logically it's possible for them to have a internally consistent worldview that excludes God. I just don't think that is possible, ultimately.
Well, apparently, Matt, we are experiencing technical difficulties. We're getting word from people who are watching that all they can hear and see is you and me, and
Really?
not anybody else.
Well, that's interesting. I don't know what to say about that.
But you're in the Hangout, and we're I turned the cameraman on, which means I am able to add and remove people to the broadcast. However, it's not working. The cameraman is not working. So I can't see any option other than closing this Hangout and starting a new one.
It's up to you if you want to do that. We could just try that and see if it works. So we can have it back up. What you can have it done in about a minute, right?
About 5 minutes.
It would take 5 minutes to redo it.
Yeah, you have to go. I have to go into my Google and Google Hangouts and all that.
You know, patience is a fruit of the spirit, Matt. I'm just saying.
Actually, it's not one of the fruit. Karpos, Galatians 5:22 is singular. The fruit of the spirit: love, joy, peace, patience.
Okay.
Okay.
Sorry,
All right.
Rub that in my face.
Let-
Oh, but you could also say, and another fruit of the spirit is learning how to shut up, Matt.
People have.
Fruits. The fruity fruit.
I'm going to let you guys talk while I go through the process of starting another one.
Okay.
And I'm going to change my fruit of the loom.
And when you, if you can't put the new link, if there is a new one for the room in Skype, and I'll put it up on the Carm website. Because we've got people, I put it up on the homepage. Yeah, so now what? So next week I go to Canada.
Well, I don't know. He gave me control, but I can't do anything. So on demand. Yeah. Yeah, like how else would it be? You mean that there's a link on a website? I can watch it whenever I want to? Yeah, that's what on demand is. Yep.
Okay, I'm going to end this Google Hangout, and I will be sending the link to Matt, Len, and John, and
Okay.
we'll be posting the link to join in the description of that Hangout. Sorry, everybody.
Okay.
Bye.